your syllabus, your aviation management syllabus, I have updated it on when I've sent it on WhatsApp, so please do check that. So we have completed chapter 1. Okay. And the chapter 1's end part I had given you as an assignment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Okay. So have you guys found it out?
Yes, ma'am. Few.
Okay,
Like,
okay, no problem. We'll talk about that at the end because it's a simple topic.
yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll move on to chapter 2, which is very easy. Okay, chapter 2 is very easy. So your first would be airport handling. Then you have airport layout. That is your structure. What and all is there in the terminal, airside, and all those things. Then you should know what is a check-in procedure is. Then you should know what is baggage handling is. Then you should also know what is prohibited items is. So that much is there in your chapter 2. So quickly moving on, airport handling procedures. So what is airport handling procedure? Okay, what at all do they consist of? How do you proceed for an airport handling? So all those things will be discussed in this slide. Okay, so first one, airport handling. First and foremost, airport handling, of course, is in commercial air traveling, right? And this is where the check-in staff handles the passenger. That is, be if you are an airline staff, how you handle a passenger. That is, when he comes to the counters, when he shows his itinerary to you, how you will print out the boarding pass, how you will pack his bag. Okay, put a baggage tag on his bags and release the bags, and what will happen inside for the bags internally, what will happen to the bags, how this is got inside the aircraft, okay, how these bags are got into the aircraft. So once you have released the bag in the check-in counters, you are supposed to collect it only in the arrival area, right, where you have reached. So what and all are the procedures that happens in the arrival area? Everything would be coming under this airport handling. Now airport handling not only comes it's not only about the check-in, it also states about your security. Okay, so it starts from the very beginning and ends at the last, where you deboard the aircraft, in the sense where you arrive at your destination. Okay, and what and all procedures will happen in your arrival area. So the entire process is called as airport handling. Okay, moving on. These are the parts. Okay, if you talk about the parts of airport handling, these are the parts of the airport handling. First and foremost would be your passenger identity registration. Okay, PIR, which means while entering to the gate. Okay, you're entering into the airport. If you need to enter into the terminal, you've seen the CISF will be checking your ID card, okay, your identity proof, and your itinerary. Itinerary means your ticket. Okay, now if it is an international passenger, if it is an international passenger, then he might be checking on your passport, okay, and your itinerary. Now if he's a normal domestic passenger, then they might check on your any of your ID proof. Okay, they don't mind if it is even a passport, but usually general people show the Aadhaar card and all those kinds of things. Okay, any ID proof. If there's a domestic passenger, any ID proof would be acceptable, and with your itinerary. So that's how the passenger identity registration happens, and the passenger is made to enter inside the airport. Okay, that's your first process. Then you have baggage registration, where you go to your counter. Okay, now the staff is asking you to place your baggage there. She says, sir, please place your baggage on the belt. Okay, now this is where she checks the weight of your baggage, and she asks you whether any prohibited item is there in your bag. So see, all the topic in chapter 2 is interconnected. Okay, everything is interconnected. So I'm saying it together itself. Okay, but I'll be showing you different slides, but since everything is interconnected, I'm telling you the process like in a way of example. Okay, so it could make you understand clearly. Now, okay, coming back to the topic, you place the bag. The staff will ask you, do you have any prohibited items? Now, list of prohibited items. I will show you when I talk about the prohibited items. Okay, so in your check-in baggage, you have a list of prohibited items where you are not supposed to carry the party poppers, any of the crackers or things like that. It is not allowed. And when it comes for your hand baggage, no more than 100 ml liquid is allowed. Okay, no sharp items is allowed. So all these are prohibited items in your hand baggage. Okay, so now she's telling, so any prohibited items is there, please do remove it from your bag. Now you say there's no prohibited items and your bag has been released onto the belt. That's the regular process. She prints out your boarding pass for you and she gives it to you. Now that is where your role in the check-in counter is done. Okay, so baggage registration is also done there because she will be putting up a tag stating the IATA code on that, like BLR2D. Let's say BLR to MAA. MAA means Chennai. Okay, so BLR to MAA. Passenger's bag will be tied a tag and that will be released on the baggage belt. So that is baggage registration. Next, seating registration. Seating registration is when the lady is giving you the boarding pass. She asks you for the seat preferences. She will ask whether it is a window seat. Now, if it is an economy flight, of course, she will ask you whether it is a window seat or a middle seat or an aisle seat. Aisle seat is the side seat. Okay, so you will have to say your preference. So if at all, if those seat is available, then she will give you that seat. If not, she'll say, I apologize for the same because you do not have that seat available. I could give you this seat. So this is how the seat registration happens. That means a seat for you is being booked at that particular time. Online check-in now, due to more number of passengers traveling, okay, to reduce the queue at the airport, many of the airlines have started this online check-in, okay, where they can check in 24 hours prior, or they can come to the airport and they have a machine called as kiosk machines, okay, where they can select their seat preferences. They can collect their boarding passes from those machines, but to check in their check-in baggages, okay, they need to be coming to the counters. Mobile check-in is same as the online check-in, where you would be checking in from your mobile 24 hours prior, okay, but you will not be getting your handy boarding pass, but the boarding pass would be there in your mobile. So that is mobile check-in. Gate or launch check-in. So once you have got your boarding pass, you will move directly to the SHA. SHA is the security hold area where your CISO will be seated, and there you need to be checking in your hand baggage. Okay, so your check-in baggage would be checked underneath, but your hand baggage needs to be checked, right? They need to know whether any you're carrying any cigarettes, any matchboxes, any sharp items. Okay, so they would ask actually these are the process which takes place in airport handling. Now this is just the risk consulting thing. Okay, so if you could see the image on top, you will
Can
see
you
the
take
customer
the
claim.
last slide, ma'am? I want to take screenshot. I was writing actually.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No problem. Okay, so this is something, it's just a risk analysis, okay, as in the passenger safety is important, baggage handling, how this goes, okay. So it's just a risk analysis. Moving on to the next one, airport handling. So you have in airport handling, you have type of operations in airport handling. So what are the type of operations? First one, airport operations. Second one, baggage operations. Third one, communication and infrastructure. Fourth one, passenger operations. Fifth one, transport security. Now, I will tell you in one word what exactly all of this is. Airport operations is those operations which is taken place or which would be checked by the airport staff. That is, whether all the systems are working, whether the baggage belt is working, there shouldn't be any blockage happening. So all these things, or let's say the congestion in the airport should not be happening. Okay, so if the congestion is happening for one flight, the other counters, whatever is there for the other air flights, would also be affected. So airport operations is those airport teams, okay, which checks a smooth inflow of passengers, baggage, or any such kind of things in the airport. Now, if you talk about the baggage operations purely depend upon baggage, as in once the checked-in baggage is being released on the belt, okay, it is moving on. It moves to the something called as BMA. Okay, if it is a departure flight, BMA, which is baggage makeup area, and
First
you
one,
have
BMA, ma'am.
yes,
BMA.
BMA, baggage makeup area. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
where the baggage reaches the baggage near to an airline staff, and whatever tag is being tied onto the bag, that would be scanned by him. Okay, and the bag which states that you are from so and so flight, you will be, now it's Bangalore from Chennai, so he will scan it. He says, okay, you're flying on 60234. Okay, 60234. He would have a trolley there. He would scan the bag and place the bag inside the trolley, which will be moving near to aircraft 60232. Okay, so it is like that. And again, when it comes in the arrival station, okay, the bags is being collected from the aircraft, okay, from the aircraft, and it is being placed on the belt. So in the arrival area, the belt, which is called, the place which will be handling the baggage is called as BBA, which is baggage breakup area. Now, in the departure side, it is BMA, which means baggage makeup area. In the arrival side, the the area which handles the baggage is called as baggage breakup area, which is BBA. Okay, clear? Moving on to the next one, communication and infrastructure. Now, this is totally based on your communication, how you, talk to a passenger. You just blindly can talk to a passenger as in you're talking to a friend. So you should have a set of company standards which you need to be following as to how to behave with the passenger, your pleasing personality, all these kinds of things. Or let's say your grooming forms a part of communication. Since I already told you, when you're working for an airline, you are not you are an airline. You're representing an airline. Okay, you're representing an organization. So whoever sees you will be seeing the company. So, according to that, you need to be dressed up. So everything comes under the communication, as in how you talk to a passenger, all these things comes under communication. Now, if you talk about infrastructure is totally based on an airport terminal. Okay, how much passengers can you hold, how much can be holding in your SHA. Okay, there shouldn't be a congestion happening in the SHA. There should be a quick movement. Passenger keeps on sometimes complaining, stating that, oh my god, you have so much of queue. Is this the way you build up the infrastructure? So your movement of the passenger flow should be very easy, okay, so that no complaints would be raising from the passengers. So in that way, the infrastructure should be built greatly. Okay, so that is one of the thing. Then comes your passenger operations. Passenger operations is where I told you, okay, from the entrance of the airport, that is, from a passenger enters from the departure gates, he's coming to the counters. He get a boarding pass. He goes to the check-in area. He goes to the security area. There he screens his hand baggage. Then goes to the gate. He boards the aircraft. Until he boards the aircraft, whatever happens in the terminal is called as passenger operations. So, even for a single passenger, or let it be for 20, 30. whatever procedures takes place. Now, if it is an international passenger, then there is one bifurcation happening. So once he gets his boarding pass, his visa has been showed in the counters, everything happens, he gets his boarding pass, he comes on top. He is not directly going to the SHA. Before SHA, he is having another process called as immigration. Okay, he needs to be showing that immigration. Okay, now there is a difference between emigration and immigration, so no confusions please. Immigration is where you're traveling in, you're coming inside India. That is, for example, you're coming from USA, you're entering into India. Now immigration is something where from India you are moving to the other countries. That is, from India you're moving to USA or any other country. Okay, so that is immigration. So before your SHA, you need to clear your immigration, and then once you have cleared the immigration, then only you're supposed to move to the SHA. So you have a bifurcation when compared to the domestic passengers. International passengers needs to clear their immigration check. Okay, now transportation security. Transportation security is those kind of security where, you know, in some airports you do not have everything connected to the aero bridge. Okay, the aircraft is not directly to the you know, if you have seen a bridge kind of thing where the passenger while boarding walks onto the bridge and enters the aircraft. Okay, so that is called as aero bridge. But not every aircraft is being connected to the aero bridge. You have seen passengers getting into a bus, okay, and getting down near the aircraft and then boarding. Okay, so that transportation which happens inside the air side, from the airport to the aircraft, is called from the transportation security. So there are some rules which is labeled by the ATC for the transportation security. That is, as in only this much of speed is being allowed, where you have a lines on the apron, as in where and all the bus needs to be moving. Okay, it can't randomly go anywhere it wants. There is a rules which needs to be followed on the air side. So all those things is being handled by the transportation security teams. Now this is where it is showing as cargo operations. Cargo operations is where your cargo procedure takes place. So cargo operations takes place entirely far from the passenger terminal. Okay, it is too far from the passenger terminal. So this is the commercial management. Commercial management is where your aircraft movement happens, your runways, taxiways. So all those things, your commercial movement happen. Key transportation security happens from here. That is a bus is being boarded or things like that. Normal airport operations. This is where the passenger is entering the terminal. Then you have baggage operations, which is always internal. Okay, no passengers would be allowed inside this particular area. Then passenger operations is a normal operations where near to the gates you could find them moving across. Okay, so that is the normal design of the thing. Now, airports operations, if you, as I already explained you, I have a little more explained in this particular slide. So every day, since airport is getting busier and busier, there is an need to get a control over that. So proactively, the airport operation teams controls this. So that is where if you talk about an airport, you have an airport staff themselves. If you talk about BIAL, you have a BIAL staff. If you talk about CIAL, which is Cochin International Airport Limited, you have a CIAL staff. So everywhere there is the staff of their own who control the real-time operations, that there shouldn't be any congestions happening, there shouldn't be any problems happening, there shouldn't be any systems problem or system failures happening. All these things is taken care by the airport operation. So that is what I have explained in this particular slide. If you talk about the flight operations, clear cut flight operations is totally based inside the crew. Okay, your cabin crews and your cockpit crews, as in how they plan to simplify their things, okay, how they can reduce the cost for an airline, okay, how they can reduce the let's say the selling of the reservations, and how they can serve on board. All these kinds of things is being carried out by the flight operations. So flight operations mainly focusing on cockpit crew and the cabin crew. Now, this is the baggage handling area. Okay, no one is allowed inside baggage handling area apart from the airline staff or the airport staff. Okay, no one else would be moving inside the baggage handling area. So this is a normal belt where the bags moves. Okay, this is an arrival area. Now this is the departure area where it goes inside. So this yellow kind of position is the internal one where they are showing. So once checked in from the counters, it goes to this yellow area where you can see a person standing here and a vehicle here. So once the he's taking up the or scanning the baggage and putting it into the trolley, and this trolley moves on to the aircraft where the baggage need to be loaded. Okay, that's how the process goes. Baggage handling system is this is where the carousel is, that is the belt. Whatever belt which is there in the counter moves all the bags, comes to one carousel, so that is called as carousel. Okay, so you have roller, you have x-ray machine. So whatever, now you will be thinking, if I have a party popper in my bag. Okay, so I am explaining you a baggage handling system part also here. Okay, so you need to be careful. You might be thinking, when my check-in baggage is being entered into that particular, that is once my staff is being released the bag, where would my bag be going? Okay, the bag from the belt moves inside. Okay, you have four x-ray machines, huge x-ray machines, which would be there placed onto the belts. Okay, connected to the belts. Now when your bag goes, it pass on x-ray 1, it pass on x-ray 2, it pass on x-ray 3. X-ray 4 is a complicated process. Okay, so it screens your entire baggage. Okay, so x-ray 4, if you do not have anything, your bag is cleared. It moves on to the carousel where your staff is screening your baggage, putting your baggage into the trolley, and trolley is moved on to the aircraft. Clear. Now there is second step where you have let's say party popper. Okay, it moves to the belt. X-ray 1 has not got hold of it. Okay, moved from x-ray 1. X-ray 2 also has not got hold of it. X-ray 3 and 4 is a little complicated one. So once it comes to X-ray 3, the bag is being stopped in the X-ray 3. That means, which states to the staff who is checking the baggage, it states that there is something prohibited in this bag. There is some dangerous good which needs to be removed. So the X-ray starts beeping. Okay, so that is being seen by the usually it is seen by the BIL staff in the Bangalore airport. Okay, so when it's a security staff would be seeing that. Now these X-ray starts beeping, stating that there is something inside the bag, and there is a vertical diverter called as vertical diverter. From X-ray 3, the bag is pushed on to another belt. Okay, where which states that the bag needs to be checked by the staff. There is something fishy in that bag. Okay, so the bag is pushed out to another belt, which is taken as a vertical diverter, and immediately it moves on to the other belt, and from there the staff needs to be removing baggage, and the baggage should be holded. Now, once there is a prohibited item in it, the person can't, simply move and check the baggage. It is not allowed. Even if you are a staff, you're not supposed to do that. The security won't allow that. Okay, you're opening another person's bag. So what the staff will do, he will hold the baggage there with him. He will inform the airline staff, stating that there is some check needs to be conducted for this passenger. Please call the passenger from the boarding gate because he needs to be opening his baggage. Now, what will the airline staff do? The airline staff will come, the airline security staff will come. He will talk to the check-in staff asking for the number of the passenger, and he will call the passenger, okay, stating that, sir, you need to be coming with us to the BMA because there is something prohibited in your bag and you need to be removing that. Now, sometimes some passenger will say that, oh yes, I have a party popper in it, I didn't knew that it was not allowed. So obviously, even if he knew, even if he not knew, he needs to come and remove that out. Okay, until and unless he's not removing that out, the baggage won't be connected onto the aircraft. Now he comes in, a staff needs to go to the boarding gate. Since he has already passed the security area and he is near the boarding gate, the staff goes to the passenger. He picks up the passenger with him. He again comes out of the SHA. Now make underline of it. Once the passenger has cleared the SHA, he will not be able to move out until and unless there is a valid reason, or there should be a staff with him. Okay, now the staff come to the CISF and states that, sir, he is having a check in the BMA, so he needs to be going. Then the staff needs to sign stating that on his behalf he is taking this passenger. So CISF doesn't want to take any complications. So what they do is he takes the name of the staff and takes his signature. Okay, now he takes the passenger down to the BMA, to the baggage makeup area, and what they do is the passenger opens the bag and picks up the let's say party poppers, and he say, I didn't know that. So obviously they'll say it's okay, it's fine. So they'll remove that out and they will throw that, and the bag is being released again, okay, onto the belt. Now the passenger is again taken up. So once you have moved out of the SHA, your boarding pass would be, of course, be cancelled. Okay, your CISF will put a cancelled seal on your boarding pass. So you need to again go to the check-in counters and reprint the boarding pass for this person, and then the staff is allowed to clear the SHA for the passenger and make him to move to the gates. So this is how the entire process for the baggage handling happens. Now, if you do not have anything in your baggage, now it's a rare process because it was actually a regular process when power banks was banned. Okay, and now it has been people have been educated a lot on it, so now it has been quite less, but you get passengers getting all sort of prohibited items. Okay, more amount of ghee and all is not allowed. So I'll show you the list of prohibited items later. So those kind of things, if it is there, then it needs to be removed from the bag. Now, if you're stating that I can't come down, no, that I would not remove that from my bag, your bag won't be connected. You will be flying, your bag will be here. So that is how the procedure takes place in the baggage handling system. Okay, so this is the entire process. I have already covered you with one topic, which is baggage handling system. Now, baggage operations team is totally based on the security team. Okay, you have an airline baggage operations team. You also have an airport baggage operations team, which will be checking on your X-rays. Okay, so why is this baggage operation team is there? Because there shouldn't be any mishandled baggage. That is, no exchange of a bag should happen. Now there are still mistakes happening since human errors are happening, where if it is a Bangalore Chennai flight, okay, and there are new staffs, or let's say staffs loading the baggage into Bangalore Delhi flight. Okay, so the bag goes to another destination. So there is lots of mishandlings or PIR reports happening up. So to decrease those costs, okay, to decrease those things, this baggage operation has come into existence, where the screeners and scanners should be made for the proper baggage scanning. Okay, now approximately it is based in 200 countries. Okay, every airport has this baggage operations until and unless it is a small airport. Okay, now this baggage operation helps in faster movement of bags because before the passenger is been boarding into the aircraft, the bag needs to be loaded inside the aircraft. So that's the policy. So baggage operations make sure that this is being followed, and everything is highly IP based. Okay, everything is highly system based. So only loading the baggage makes a problem, but when you compare to the highly technology developed countries, there wouldn't be a mistake happening because everything is done by the machines. So rarely, if you say 100 out of 1% or something, there might be an error happening, but everything is an IP based process. Okay, so that is baggage operation. See, baggage handling system. This is how it comes from the check-in counters. It moves, your baggage moves from here. Here is the X-ray, and there you go. Now you might ask me a simple question, ma'am, that is for departure. Now, how does it come for the arrival? Do we have an X-ray? Arrival for domestic, you do not have an X-ray because for domestic you do not have an X-ray because uh, uh, if you say for domestic, yes, one X-ray would be there, but usually that's not that complicated because once you have cleared the departure area, there is no chances for anything to come in the aircraft. So obviously there wouldn't be any such issues, but you have one X-ray scanning the bag for in BBA, okay, baggage breakup area. Now, if you talk about the international passenger in BBA, okay, international passengers in BBA, not BMA. BMA, the process would be same. If you talk about the international passengers in BBA, once the bag has been arrived, the bag would be screened by the customs. So it would not be screened by any of the security staff. It won't be screened by any airline staff. The baggage screening would be done by the customs. Okay, it is just to know what kind of product it is. Now if it is a 43 inches TV, you need to be paying the tax. Now you have a 5 bottles of liquor, you need to be paying the tax. So this is how the things goes. So once he has screened the bag and he found 5 bottles of liquor inside a bag, he will mark the bag, okay, with a marker. And once the passenger has collected it from the belt, he will one of the other custom staff will be waiting there, okay, and he sees a mark on the baggage and he will ask the passengers to stay there. Okay, once everything is cleared, he'll say what you have in the baggage. Now the passenger has to say, I have 5 bottles of liquor, please pay the tax for it. So it's a heavy tax being levied for liquors and all those kind of things. So the baggage is being screened by the customs. Okay, so everything in the BBA goes via regulation of customs. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Your communication and network infrastructure is clearly what I said, how you behave, okay, your personality, your services availability, how you offer the passenger. Now it could be, your safe flight, okay, safe and secure flight, how freely you can move around the airport, how you are, connecting the passengers, okay, the way of, now if at all you are calling for a passenger for a physical check for the baggage, and you say, sir, you have a physical check, please come outside. You can't say that to the passenger. You need to be very polite to him. So that is the way of behaving. It's only because your company is having certain visions and missions for them, okay, and they expect their staffs to be following the same. So they wish they need to be looking up onto that. So that is where the communications and infrastructures makes the point. Now, if you talk about any such kind of, it is not only by word. Okay, you face to face, you're speaking up with the passenger. Even you are being concentrated when you're talking on your RT, when you're talking on to with your colleagues. Okay, also that is being heard by other people. Okay, they say, oh, what a weird airline is this, they are speaking in a mannerless way. So that shouldn't come up. So even in your mobility, that is even while you are at your work, you should have respect to others with your colleagues. Okay, then there might be a possibility that you are not in a good mood, but you are not supposed to show that because you are in a customer service oriented company. Okay, customer service oriented service where you are supposed to be focusing on the customer and you are supposed to be focusing on your company. So you are not supposed to show who you are, you are supposed to show who you work for. Okay, so that is where all these kinds of communication comes up. So it is not only you're talking face to face, everything depends, your RT, your laptops, your mobile phones, if you're using, you're talking to someone, your data, your video, whatever is coming up should clearly show that you are a customer oriented person. Okay, infrastructures is totally based on your facilities, whatever you are giving to the passengers. Okay, your technologies, whatever has come up. Okay, this shows how the airport has been provided with a lot of facilities for its passengers. Now everywhere, if you could see in the airport, we have baby care rooms. Okay, we have restrooms, for the women's, we have restrooms for the men's. Okay, we have a lounge. So all these kind as a part of infrastructure. So how you are giving a proper service to the or how the facilities is being provided to the passenger is taken care by the infrastructure. Now if you see, these are the kind of infrastructure, international and domestic infrastructures are there. Like if you've seen terminal 1, terminal 2, terminal 3, same way. This one goes for domestic and one goes for international. Managed land side. Okay, LAN is land side. Then you have cabling, network support, everything. Okay, whatever you are providing to the passenger, whatever facilities comes under passengers, everything comes under infrastructure. Now you don't take a 5 rupee coin for using of toilets. No, because that is not allowed by any infrastructural policies. So everything comes and all the facilities is based on the innovations. Okay, new. If you talk about the washrooms, okay, how the doors need to be, how a normal washable wash basin should be. It needs to be looking different from other airports. So this is how the innovation comes up when you're building up an infrastructure. Okay, now passenger operations. Passenger operations is when new technologies is being developed. Okay, you need to be every day you need to be evaluating your strategies, as in what changes can you bring up for the development of passenger. Now if you talk about Indigo keeps on changing or keeps on coming up with new policies. Okay, which would actually be a problem to the passenger, but sometimes it is helpful for the passenger. So it's the same way where every day they keep on evaluating, as in what new policies or what new strategies can bring up for the proper development of the passengers. Okay, how they can attract the passenger. So it is for the business also and for the passenger also. So they think over that. It is not just a one way, it should always be a two-way. So they always think the development of passengers. Okay, because and they also think how they can demand the travel. So that is how the things happen. Okay, in passenger operations, all these kinds of things comes, which I already told you. Your online booking is also there. It is not just a reservation which happens inside the airport. You also have the online booking. You have self-service check-in, which is called as kiosk. Okay, you have streamlined baggage handling, which I told you, and you also have a flexible passage processing. So there is no mistake should be happening in that passenger processing. Still, due to human errors, there are defects happening because more number of flights obviously will stresses the staff too. Okay, they get confused and give a wrong boarding pass to the passenger, but that need to be corrected quickly as and when. So you are not supposed to blame that person for what what wrong you are given, that this and all. That would be happening by the head of the airline. But what you need to do is, being another staff, you need to be supporting the staff. Okay, once you find that there's a wrong boarding pass, call her, inform her that you have given a wrong boarding pass, but try to sort it out. You're not supposed to make it a big issue, because the passenger will also get frustrated and you are spoiling your company's name too. So you're not supposed to do that. Just inform her you're given a boarding pass. So we will talk about that later. Now print out a new boarding pass for so and so PNR. So this is how you are going to handle the case. Okay. Now this is the check-in counter. So if you could see, this is how it looks. A normal check-in counter. This is kiosk. This is the kiosk. This is a kiosk in Dubai airport. Now we also have in Bangalore airport. Okay. This is kiosk where the self check-in has been done. This is transportation security. If you could see buses here, okay, you also have aero bridges connected. So aero bridge, while some passengers enter via aero bridges, there is also a possibility of buses where the passenger is come by bus. Okay. This is ground operations where your cargo would be handling this. Okay, huge number of what do you say, cargoes. That is more number of cargo if at all a company is sending to another company. Okay, so you will have a huge big cargoes coming up. So in that case, ULD. This is called as ULD. Okay.